What's going on, everybody? It's one of those nights I completely forgot. Roughly leading up to the show 15 minutes ago, maybe, I sent the link to join the show to Durf, and he's like, bruh, what are you sending me this crap for? I'm working. I already told you that. My bad. I forgot again. Yeah, there was another week where I thought he was working, but he wasn't working. So he joined like last minute because I forgot he was not working. And now this time I thought he was going to be on the show, but this time he's working. So I got it completely backwards. I don't know what's happening, but we're all here. Well, I'm here, and we're going to be here for a good time. And I just checked to see who's watching, and there's actually one person watching from our new Twitch channel, our brand new Twitch channel. That's pretty dope. And it's the Game On Sports podcast. Heck yeah, man. Yeah. I follow him on Twitch. I got Rapid Dave following him on Twitch. Old School Wizard. Got a couple. I had to get on the Twitch platform. There's a whole bunch of people that, the guys from Strikeout Beer, and they're following. Everyone's on Twitch. So I kind of just started the Twitch channel to follow them and hang out with them. But I can put the podcast on Twitch. So let's do that. So if you want, you can follow us on Twitch now, if that's your platform of choice. And Fred is watching, though. Hopefully he's watching with like everyone at work. Who are you watching with, Fred? Like, tell everyone else to tune in as well. Who are you hanging out with today? Or what department are you in? We can just do this whole, like, Fred can still be on the show, but like through comments, he can just let us know what he's doing at work and how it's going. I want to know. It's a Tuesday. I'm sure there's plenty going on. So before we get too off track again, like always, if you watch a show at all, you know for a fact that we just get off track 100% of the time. Just me, myself, and I. Where the heck are you? Where are you working? Where it's just you? Are you like doing admin duties today? Just hiding in an office in the back somewhere? And while I wait for his answer, make sure to floss. You have to floss. Everyone has to floss. Flossing is very important. Recommended 10 out of 10 by podcasters. You have to floss. Flossing is follow, liking, observing, subscribing, and sharing everything on and off the field related. Follow us on, let's see here. Normally Fred reads this. I'm not used to Siri's talking to me. What the heck? Fred usually does this part, so it kind of hurts my feelings. It drowns me in sorrow that I have to read it. But we're going to get through it. So make sure you're following on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also now our Twitch channel, which is at OOTF Podcast, just like everything else, Everything, all of our social media handles are OOTF Podcast, in case you haven't figured that out yet, or if you're new to the show. Make sure to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts so we know how we're doing, and let us know what you like and dislike about the show. That's the important part. Leave a review. You can leave 5 stars, 4 stars, 3. We've only had 1 3-star, 1 4-star, and the rest are 5 stars. I want the 3-star review. I want to know what you were like. It's okay. I don't know. I'm probably not going to be back. I want to know what your problem is with us. You can find all the links for everything at onoffthefield.com, along with our fundraising efforts, our merchandise link, and to learn more about Durf, myself, and the show. You can use promo code SPOOKY through the end of the month for 10% off your merchandise. And he's just doing support. Fred's supporting the Wegmans people of the world. He's doing God's work over there. Godspeed. I'll pray for you. Hopefully he'll be back Thursday. So that's the floss segment. Warming up, just doing the floss segment. We got a poll question going around social media right now. The poll question being, does Trevor Lawrence stay at Clemson or does he go to the NFL? I guess is the question. Because right now it's obviously the Jets are going to have the first round pick. If you look at their schedule, the Jets are not going to win a game this season, pending, some kind of complete collapse from one of those teams. I don't know. Maybe if Tua's really bad, they can beat the Dolphins. Maybe. That's maybe the only win I can see. But is he basically going to go to the NFL? Because if even the Jets have the first overall pick, does he demand a trade like Eli Manning scenario? Stuff like that. Anything can happen. So basically, it's just Clemson or the NFL is the question we're presenting here. If the Jets had the first round pick, I stay in Clemson, and and I'm a Jets fan. Yeah, the Game On Sports podcast, watching over on our Twitch channel. Yeah, he's saying if he was Trevor, he would stay at Clemson, and he's even a Jets fan saying that. So that tells you a lot, and that's the problem with the Jets. It's going to be hard to attract anyone there right now until you at least fire Adam Gase. You're probably going to have to fix a lot of things in the front office and upstairs as well. They need a lot. It's not just a team issue. They've been bad for a while now. It's a franchise issue, and that is much harder to rectify, to fix a franchise. And just bringing in Trevor Lawrence, does he want to waste 2, 3, 4 years of his NFL career with that dumpster fire? If I was him, no, I don't know what. And then, this is a good point here. Adam Gase should have been gone after week 2, but the problem with that is the Jets obviously have a clear agenda, and that agenda is to tank. And if the best way to tank and get players to leave the Jets, you don't even have to trade players at this point. You don't have to try. People want to leave. They'll go do everything on their own. They don't have to even make a conservative effort to get rid of players because they'll just want to leave. Adam Gase staying pretty much ensures that the morale stays low. Everyone's mad at each other, and they're going to lose a bunch of games, if not all of them. So Adam Gase is doing what the franchise wants right now, and that's losing. So that's why he's still there. I don't know if he gets fired week 8, 9. I don't know what the plan is for him later, but I would imagine he completes the season. Maybe week 14, 15, they get rid of him a little bit early, but I would imagine he's there for the long haul, just so they can ensure they get the first round pick and they can get rid of any players that are soaking up more than $2 million or more on their contract, which is everyone. Oh, boy. Here's my thought. The Jets will do what the Jets do best. They will win just enough not to get the number 1 pick. That's going to be extremely hard to do. I'll tell you that right now. If you just look at the Jets schedule, I'll tell you what. It's not pretty. I could pull it up, but we've already gone over it a few times before, so I won't, waste everybody's time doing that. But what I will do is see what we got currently for votes. And it's not popping up. What are you doing, Facebook? Show me my poll question. There we go. We got 5 votes for Clemson and 4 votes for the Jets. So a lot of people. Adam Nutter, Michael Burlow, Key Williams, Brandon Combs, Andreas. Everyone here looks like a lot more people think he's going to be staying at Clemson than going to the NFL. Check my other poll on the Insta. And so far, 2 votes for the Jets. So, we're evening out. Pretty much between all of that, we stay even with him going, either staying at Clemson or going to the NFL. We'll check in at the end of the show if I remember, because I know the last time we did a poll question, I forgot to check at the end of the show to see what the final results were. But, that's the mediocrity of this show. And we thrive off of that mediocrity. We love it. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. Make sure you give the stream a share, a like, all of those things. And we're going to jump into the other sports. So everyone can go vote on that poll question. And we're going to be jumping into the other. I'm not going to scream the other sports like usual because it only works when Durf is here. It just doesn't, it's not the same. Oh, yeah. That's the Yuengling traditional lager. Oh, yeah. That's good stuff, folks. Is that a tie record in the background? I forgot I just put this up 10 minutes before the show. Not joking. Finally got the whiteboard up there. Yeah, I had a 9-6 week, which is horrible. And Durf had a 10-5 week, which closes the gap. It's officially tied up at 69, 35, and 1 for the record for picks this year in the NFL. Yeah, I look at other people's podcasts and they pick a couple games. They'll pick like 7, 8, sometimes even like only 4 games, and their records by the end of the year look like, 30, 15, and whatever. Durf and I do all of the picks. We're going hard every single game, every single week. We make predictions, and we're going to have a terrible record by the end of it, but he's taking those chances. I got to pick better. I got to pick a lot better. We'll talk about picks on Thursday because that's what we do on Thursday. We make picks. But we're going to do the recap this week of week 7. Boy, oh boy. I went with my brain on a lot of these picks when I should have followed my heart, because some of these picks, my heart was telling me to go the other direction, and I should have. So that's my fault. I just, you'd like to think your brain is telling you the right thing, but it didn't. It failed me this week. But we're all tied up. Had a bad week. We'll rebound next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. So for the other sports, we have Game 6 tonight of the World Series. It's going to be Blake Snell for the Rays versus the Dodgers bullpen. And I'm going to take the Rays in this one. And I have this going to Game 7 because the Rays have had a rough time with Dodgers starting pitchers. They have a batting average of below 200 when going against the starters of the Dodgers. But when they get to that bullpen, they're almost batting 2.6. All of their scoring on the bullpen. And the Dodgers are going to take this Game 6 to the bullpen. And then the Dodgers have to try and hit off of Blake Snell, one of the best pitchers in the league. So that's a tall order, in my humble opinion. We got 2 watchers over at Twitch now. I should have been on Twitch a long time ago. Everyone's watching from Twitch. Make sure you comment from Twitch too. I want to see who's watching. Kind of want to know. Keeping an eye on the stats up there because I want to know. I want to know more about Twitch. See if it pans out. And so far it is. But yeah, I have the Rays winning Game 6 strictly because the Dodgers bullpen is the weakness of that team. Their hitters, they're batting amazing. The offense is on fire. Clayton Kershaw is finally becoming a pitcher that, can pitch in the postseason. I've been told that he's always been a good postseason pitcher, but he's had a couple of really bad games that skew his numbers. I don't know if that's true. I don't think that's true. I've watched him pitch in the past in the postseason. I have never seen him pitch one good postseason game. But that's just me. I don't watch a lot of baseball. Maybe just the ones I caught were the bad ones. I'd have to dive into the stats more, which I don't think I'm going to because it's baseball. If this is a baseball podcast, I would pull up every single postseason game Clayton Kershaw has pitched, and we would dissect it. But all I know is the 2 times he's pitched in this series against the Rays, he has been lights out. I think he's had 16 strikeouts in those 2 games, something crazy. So, but they're going to go with the bullpen in Game 6. I don't think it's going to work. I think it's going to go to Game 7. And then the Rays will put Morton out there. I know that much at least. I don't know who the Dodgers are putting out there. I think they're going to be putting out, if this is why I need Fred. Fred would know his name. Bueller. Walker Bueller in his really tight pants. That'll be the matchup for Game 7, I believe. And I think that's what we're going to, that's when it'll be decided. Khabib, I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name, Khabib in the UFC. He retired after going 29-0. He won his last fight in UFC 254. And he said it after his father died a couple months back. And he told his mother that he's just going to finish this last fight. He's got one more fight to do. and then he was going to retire and be done. He said there's no chance he's coming back. He can't fight anymore without his father there. So tragic story with his father passing. It was real sad all around the league. Everyone, in a sport where it seems like everyone would hate each other, you got to beat the crap out of them, literally stand inside a ring, an octagon technically, and just beat the crap out of somebody for 3 or 5 rounds. But, it's when your father passed away, a lot of prayers and thoughts went his way, and it was good for Khabib, but he promised his mother this was going to be his last fight. I posted the video on and Off the Field's Facebook page. It was touching. And somebody was very smart and connected Michael Jordan when his father passed, and then he won the NBA Finals, and then Khabib winning his last fight, going 29-0. And then retiring after his father died. So they put the pictures side by side of Khabib just laying in the octagon, just crying, and Michael Jordan in the locker room crying, that infamous picture that we all know, laying on the floor on his back. So putting those two pictures together kind of touches you in the heart right there, gets you in your feelings. So that was a really smart connection. Someone did that on Twitter. I don't know who it was. Should have got that. Wisconsin college football. Here we go, folks. COVID is attacking hardcore Wisconsin college football. They are down to their 4th string quarterback. 4th string quarterback. I'm shocked they have a 4th string quarterback. It's not like you go on the waiver wire, go pick somebody up. Like in the NFL, you have to go pick someone up. 4th string quarterback. Yeah, he's a redshirt junior, Danny Vanden Boom. I love that name. I hope he's good at football because I just want him to make it to the NFL so we can just have a guy in the league where his name Boom is on the jersey. That's what I want. Danny Vanden Boom. He's next in line if the other quarterbacks continue to test positive and can't make it back, which is very unlikely. Because if you test positive, I believe it's a 21-day window. So that's a big issue for Wisconsin football. So if you're a fan of the Badgers, I got really bad news for you. It's going to be a long couple of weeks for Wisconsin football with Danny Vanden Boom being your quarterback. Sorry, folks. Lane Kiffin was fined for retweeting. This is a fun one. He was fined $25,000. Lane Kiffin, the head coach of Ole Miss, he was fined for retweeting the fact that SEC refs blew a call that basically dropped Ole Miss to 1-4. Everyone knew they blew the call. Even the SEC knew that the refs in the replay blew that call, but they still fined him. It was a kickoff that was ruled a fumble, recovered by Ole Miss, so that they would have had the ball deep in the territory in who they play, Auburn's territory. It would have been amazing. Oh my gosh. It could have been a touchdown. They were only up by 1 at that point. Could have gone up by 8. But they ruled it a touchback for Auburn, and then they went down and scored the go-ahead touchdown. They looked at the review, still called it a touchback when it clearly goes off the fingertips of the Auburn guy receiving the kick returner. So he was really mad about that, so he retweeted something about how they jacked that up. And I thought Aaron Suttles had a funny tweet. It says, Lane Kiffin, replay blew it. SEC, replay blew it. Also the SEC. Here's a $25,000 fine, Lane, for correctly pointing out that we blew it. The SEC fully admitted that they messed up that call, but you're still going to fine him? I feel like if you come out and say, hey, we messed up, and then Lane Kiffin just agrees with you, you can't fine him. That's kind of garbage, in my opinion. Wouldn't you think if you knew you blew the call and everyone around you is like, yeah, he blew the call, we agree with you. They can't just go around being like, hey, whoa. You can't talk like that. Here's a fine. You can't say that we blew it. We can say we blew it, but you can't say it. And it was a retweet. It's not like he made his own tweet. He retweeted it. He's literally agreeing with the SEC. College football. College football is a mess right now. I don't know. People said that the NBA title is a sham. The Major League Baseball title is a sham. All of these things are shams because of COVID. The one league that no one's really calling a sham as loudly as the other leagues is college football. Ohio State was put in the power rankings, the top 25, whatever they do in college football. They were like number 5. But they're starting like 4 weeks later than every single other league, if not more weeks later. How do you put a team at number 5? Granted, they're still very good. They're probably going to be that high anyways. But when they're not even playing, like the Big Ten was announced they're going to come back, and they're like, oh, the Big Ten's coming back. That means we're going to throw Ohio State up here. What? No, you can't just throw them in there. Granted, they won, and it's fine. Like, they're a good team still. I understand it. But if a Big Ten team makes it to the CFB title game with only playing limited amount of games, that's the big question going around college football. If a Big Ten team can make it, should make it to the college football playoffs. It's only 4 teams, folks. And the Big Ten is only playing, I believe, 8 games. Everyone else is playing pretty much a full season. It's going to be a bad look. Because everyone else has played more games, get a little bit more wore down. Ohio State coming in, a couple more games fresh. They could run the table, and it'll be a sham. That's a real sham. If you want to talk about a sham of a league, it's college football. It's petty by the SEC, says Fred. Yes, it is. It is very, very petty. But yeah, they got to make up that money that they lost. They talking about leagues that have lost money. College football, schools, commissioners have lost a lot of money. Get some Yingling in my throat. And for those wondering, we're looking for sponsors because this is the point in time we'd look for a sponsor. I got to take a sip of Yingling. Let's throw an ad for the sponsor in here. So if you know anyone that wants to hook up with On and Off the Field, let us know. So that's it. That's all I got for other sports. Going to move on to NFL news. NFL news. Jerry Jones is falling apart at the seams. Jerry Jones cannot keep his head together anymore. His team is a disaster. Dak Prescott is gone. Andy Dalton got decapitated. Everything's falling apart. Zeke Elliott is just... He's on my fantasy team. Trust me, he's doing very bad. And he wasn't doing even good when Dak was there, so he's just having a bad season in general. Jerry Jones can't take it anymore. He went on 105.3 The Fan radio station, and when questioned about if the team has a leadership void, he told the host to shut up. Not just straight up shut up. Well, he did say shut up, but he was kind of just, what are you talking about? That's garbage. That's nonsense talk. Shut up. I'm pretty sure the owner of an NFL team should not be going on radio stations telling hosts to shut up. It's a bad look. And the question being about a leadership void, and you're going to go around telling radio hosts to shut up. Well, the leader's definitely not you, because leaders don't tell radio hosts to shut up when asking simple questions. Mike McCarthy is not a leader. When Mike McCarthy was in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers was doing whatever he wanted. Mike McCarthy was not the coach of that team. Aaron Rodgers was the coach of that team. That became very apparent near the end of his tenure there. And even when the new coach came in, Aaron Rodgers still thought it was his team. Now they're kind of on the same page. Their offense is kind of a combination of all their minds in Green Bay, and they figured it out, and they worked together. Mike McCarthy just got ran over there. And Jerry Jones has a very specific idea in mind when he picks his head coaches, because he wants to still be in charge. Mike McCarthy is not by any means in charge of this team at any level. Jerry Jones runs it from in his office. He runs virtually what happens on the field. Mike McCarthy's just kind of there. He's a face. He talks every once in a while. He runs practice, but he's not really a leader. The real leader before was Dak Prescott. They were still a mess, but at least the offense was putting up a lot of points. The defense was terrible. If the defense was any good, this team actually might have a above 500 record. That could be on Mike McCarthy. That could be on Norton, the defensive coordinator, who put Tabasco in his eye during his press conference today. That was a lot of fun. Maybe it was yesterday. Still, very funny. It's a true story. Look it up. Put Tabasco in his eye. It was great. If you're talking about the hot seat for any coaches, it'd be Norton, defense coordinator. Literally set himself on fire with hot sauce in his eye. There's definitely a leadership void. The leader used to be Dak Prescott, and now Dak is gone. Nobody trusts anybody. After Andy Dalton got decapitated by Bostic, by the Washington football team linebacker, the Dallas Cowboys are just kind of like, you all right, dude? You look like you died there. You good? All right, here comes the medical staff. You're good. And they all kind of just like waltz around their business waiting to start the next play. I'm pretty sure if your quarterback gets decapitated, maybe go up to Bostic, give him a little shove. Defend your quarterback, defend your team. This has been a big conversation this week. After that happened, the Cowboys players are just kind of like, oh man, that looked like it hurt. That sucks. And they all just walk away. I know you don't want to get into a giant fight. You're already down. You can't afford a penalty. But at least push and shove and defend your guy a little bit. Do something. Make it look like you care that your quarterback just got obliterated. There's no leadership. There's no accountability. And now Jerry Jones is telling radio hosts to shut up. Nothing is going right in Dallas. And if you're a Cowboys fan, I'll pray for you, dude. Yeah, and there's Fred. No support from the players on the field. That was pathetic. It was. If Russell Wilson took a cheap shot to the head, and the Seattle Seahawks are just walking around like, oh, that sucks. Like, I would be furious. Like, think about that. It's your leader on the field just got killed. You're just going to sit there and be like, no, you're going to be mad. That was a cheap shot. Walk up to the other guy, take your helmet off and swing it at him. I'm going to beat the crap out of that guy, punch him in the face. That's a normal reaction when you're defending the leader of your team. Andy Dalton's not the leader of that team, though. He never will be, never was going to be. Mike McCarthy's not a leader. There's no leaders. So that's why he told the host to shut up, because he didn't have a legitimate answer. They're sending their players away to other teams. Yeah, Everson Griffen. I guess we'll skip to that. The Lions traded for Dallas defensive end Everson Griffen for a conditional 2021 draft pick. So Everson Griffen moved again now. At first, people said it was going to be a 6th-round draft pick. Now it's a conditional 2021 draft pick. My only question for Everson Griffen and anyone that was, just in general for this entire trade, defensive end who has 2 sacks already on the season, Everson Griffen with one of the cheapest contracts that you can have this season so far. Seattle, where you at, boys? Hey, Everson Griffen, the guy you were looking at earlier in the offseason, they were trying to trade him for nothing. And it hurts being a Seahawks fan sometimes. Strikeout Beer is in the house for NFL news. Yes, sir. You're here for NFL news. Let's go. Hashtags all day. Strikeout Beer's watching on Facebook, but we do have a Twitch channel now. You can watch it from Twitch, from YouTube, from Facebook. We're everywhere. And yes, the Lions did get Griffen for a steal. They probably pick up his contract, but what? That's $3 million? Like Seattle can't afford a $3 million contract. Pete Carroll did make a statement about picking up some of these free agents to help with the pass rush. And he said, it's hard to pick up free agents right now or go do trades because there's a COVID period. You have to wait. You risk bringing someone in that can contract the virus, and people are doing it, Pete. That's not an excuse. Le'Veon Bell just went to the Chiefs. He took a couple snaps last week. He took 1 week off, making excuses to why you can't bring someone in to help your defense because they pressured 0 times on Kyler Murray. They didn't get any pressure, any hits, any sacks, and Kyler Murray tore them apart in the second half and overtime because that defense sucks. Other player news, Antonio Brown is officially a Buccaneer. Antonio Brown will be playing with Tom Brady again. They looked very good for that one game they played together in New England. So here's my problem. He already doesn't look like he's going to play in week 8. Antonio Brown, he could play because it's basically the same scenario as Le'Veon Bell. He came in. He can't play this week because you got to go through COVID protocols, but you're ready to go the next week. He's probably not going to go in week 8. They have to make sure the offense, he understands it. I understand all that. But they have to see what happens with him in practice. Let's get a feel for his personality. Let's get a feel for what happens when he doesn't touch the ball. We have to understand that this is Antonio Brown. They have to be super cautious. And guess what? Bruce Arians is not a very cautious person. He already came out and started blasting AB. He said, well, look, Mike Evans didn't touch the ball in week 7 until the fourth quarter, but you don't hear him crying. So if Antonio Brown's crying about touches, we're going to have a problem. Don't talk crap about AB. Just leave it alone, especially to the media. I know Bruce Arians doesn't care. He'll just say whatever the heck Bruce Arians wants to say. But it's his Antonio Brown. He is a super fragile human being. You can't just go out and blast him in the national media. Okay? You can be like, we're glad to have him here. He'll be working out this week, pick up the offense. It'll be a great time. And then you can go into your locker room and be like, hey, AB, guess what? If you don't touch the ball, you deal with all that in-house. You don't put him on blast in front of the media. That's what Bruce Arians does, though. That's a bad start, in my opinion. I feel like people slept on that. He came out and said that, and people were like, yeah, it's true. He's got a point there. You can't be putting AB on blast because that's just a bad first step to working with him. But, Chris Godwin's hurt again, so they're not even fully healthy again anyways. This is what I just keep saying. The Bucs are Super Bowl contenders if everyone is on the field. Chris Godwin has not played back-to-back games yet this season. Mike Evans is dealing with a hamstring injury. Rob Gronkowski is obviously injury-prone. This could fall apart quick for this team. It could. Just like the same thing with the Steelers. Big Ben got hurt last year, ended his season by throwing a football. He threw the football, didn't get touched, and it ended his season. If he goes down again this year, the Steelers' season is also over. And there's a bunch of injuries with Tampa Bay. If players keep going down with Tampa Bay, their season could hit a struggle point. Finger surgery for Godwin. He broke his finger on a touchdown catch, which is unfortunate. Very bittersweet moment. I got a touchdown, broke my finger. Des Bryant is now a Baltimore Raven. He will be going to the practice squad, but he won't be there for long. As long as Des has some kind of vertical still, he'll finally be that outside the numbers, down the field threat that the Ravens need. The Ravens don't have that. Marquise Brown can fly. Okay, he's 5'6". I don't care if he can fly because just a regular 5'10" or 11 corner can blanket him. That's just a fact. If he can outrun him, great. But Lamar also has to put the ball on him, which is a huge struggle. His wingspan is not huge. Des Bryant's wingspan is huge. They got Willie Snead. Nobody cares. So that's just my opinion. I love how the Steelers have the Ravens coming up this week, and that's like a threat to the Steelers' undefeated season. the Chiefs defense completely shut down the Ravens. You don't think the Steelers defense is just going to do that tenfold? Like, honestly, ask yourself that. If the Chiefs defense can shut down Lamar Jackson and that Ravens offense, I'm pretty sure the Steelers will be fine. So I don't think the Steelers' undefeated streak ends in week 8. My opinion. I think that's all I got for NFL news. You know what? I don't have a banner for off the field MVP. Huh. I don't want to make it right now anyways. Let's check back in on the poll question. Let's do this real quick before we transition to our next segment. Let's see. I got to go find it. It's so far away. I got to go to the group tab. It just takes so long. And if you're listening to the podcast, I apologize. So we're officially tied up 5-5. Will Trevor Lawrence stay at Clemson or go to the NFL? We have 5 votes for the Jets and 5 votes for Clemson. And if I go to the Insta and check that one out, everyone is still saying Jets on the Insta, and that's still 2 votes. So we're pretty even. A few more people are leaning towards him going to the NFL. Trevor Lawrence did come out and say that, he plans on moving on from Clemson. He plans on going to the NFL, but you never know. It's basically a politician answer. Here's what I'm thinking about doing, but I don't know. Maybe. It's just, you didn't answer the question. Is it yes or no? You're going to go to the NFL or you're going to stay? Oh, anything can happen. That's not an answer. I don't expect him to give an answer. I question myself about doing this poll question because I hate it when people are talking about draft stuff in week 7, week 8 of the NFL. Maybe the Jets go on maybe they fire Adam Gase and the Jets find a spark. Sam Darnold does really good. They win 2 or 3 games. It's a miracle. They just figure it out. They sneak off 2-3 games, and they don't even get the first overall draft pick. Maybe the Washington football team steals it. The Giants steal it. Who knows? The Falcons, anyone. The Texans suck. There's a lot of bad teams. Maybe the Jets don't even have the first overall pick by the end of the season. Who knows? It's very unlikely, but who knows? Fred thinks that Lamar is better with Dez because Lamar won't wait in the pocket for Dez to get open. He doesn't have to wait. It's just like his tight ends. Yeah, because when the route is just the play is Mark Andrews going up the seam or Boyle going up the seam, he just throws that up there for him. He doesn't wait. He doesn't have to scramble usually. He's just like, all right, he's in position. Here's 3 guys on him, but he's in position. He just chucks at him, and hopefully they come down with the ball. That's what he'll have now down the field and outside the numbers. That's why he's good with tight ends. Big wingspan. Marquise Brown, Willie Snead. These wingspans and talent levels are just limited. Dez Bryant, he's a huge human being. Run down the field, chuck it up to him, jump ball. Now, it's been a couple of years. I don't know what kind of Dez you're going to get. I'm not going to come out here and say, there's your guy. It's Julio. Just chuck the ball down to him. He'll one hand every catch. And that's not what we have here. It's Dez Bryant. Hasn't played for a couple of years, but it's at least something that Lamar can work with. So, real quick, our off the field MVP for this episode. I'm trying to do one every week. I'm trying. I don't think we did one for Thursday last week. But we're doing it now. Off the field MVP this is the official NFLPA Community MVP Award for week 6. They're always a week off. I don't know why. They're always like it's week 7, but now they come out with week 6. I don't know. It's Panthers defensive tackle Derek Brown. He's a rookie, came out of Auburn. He is launching his monthly Project Universal Love Give Back Initiative. I'll say that again. He is launching his monthly Project Universal Love Give Back Initiative. So it's basically this initiative where every month He's trying to do, I think, either a $10,000 or a $50,000. I think it's $50,000 event to give back. It's a monthly thing. I'll let me read it. I'll get it for you. He kicked off his Project Universal Love, a monthly initiative by the Derek Brown Foundation and the Family Institute of Health and Human Services to give back to the greater Charlotte area. Each month, Brown will create various pop-up villages around Charlotte that will distribute more than $50,000 in needed resources. A monthly initiative with all these different things. He's going to set up all these pop-ups to give $50,000 in resources to the community. This is a rookie, folks. A rookie. Just seems like a great kid. Great kid. So Carolina is lucky to have him. But this specific event they're talking about, Derek Brown distributed pizza and more than 1,000 Halloween costumes to the Charlotte. I think it's just Charlotte. Not Charlotte. Charlotte youth in need during a special drive-through event. They just hand out pizza and costumes. It doesn't have to always be, like books or school supplies. They always do the Christmas. A lot of people around the league always do the Christmas. They go shopping with underprivileged kids, and they help them pick out. Like a player will go buy Christmas presents for him. That's a popular one. So this is a Halloween one, just giving out costumes. They can't afford a dope costume. Derek Brown will give you a costume. It's great. Fred, great character for a rookie. So Carolina's lucky to have him in that area. The way some of the quotes that in that article, you just got to go to NFLPA.com. Probably /community MVP. You'll find the full article there. And you can also go to the Derek Brown Family Foundation, I believe it was. I didn't pull it up. Unfortunately, this time I'm a failure at life. I did say it. I read it. So you can go to his website to learn more about that and about his foundation. And going back one comment, Trevor Lawrence will know who has number one pick before he has to declare for the NFL draft. Maybe that's what he meant by who knows. Like, I plan to move on, he says, but who knows? Maybe he means that by saying who knows who will have the number one pick. If it's the Jets, that changes things. If it's any other team, I'm out of here. Even if he goes to the Giants, let's say they move on from Daniel Jones. The Giants are not that bad of an option to go to. You have Saquon there at least. You have a couple of players. The defense is terrible, but you have Gettleman. Gettleman loves offensive linemen and defensive linemen, so at least he'll protect you. That's just kind of what he does. He drafts the big uglies. I don't think the Giants would be a terrible spot for Trevor Lawrence, but I would not want to go to the Jets. If the Texans had the first overall pick, who cares? Because it goes to the Dolphins. The Texans are a disaster right now. I feel bad for just Texas, Cowboys, Texans, Longhorns, the Texas Longhorns. I think they're doing pretty bad too. Who knows? College football. Let's do some Week 7 recap. It was an eventful Week 7. Those early slotted games in Week 7, the 1 p.m. games on Sunday, some of those games came down to the wire. Tell you what, because I was watching the Red Zone channel. They're basically playing 3 or 4 games all at the same time because they were all coming down to like the last play. Boy. Oh, that Yingling touches my soul. But first, Thursday Night Football. Oh, P. Cooper, 012. Want to become famous? Buy Fowler's Primes and Views. Nah, I'm good. Is there a way to delete comments? I guess you can't delete comments from here. That's unfortunate. No thanks, P. Cooper. Get out of my stream. The Giants at the Eagles. The Eagles won this game 22-21. It was a hard game to watch. I watch every game. That's what I do with my life. I watch every football game till completion, and this one was tough. The offenses, I've probably never seen a game where the offenses were terrible, but it was just multiplied because the offensive lines were some of the worst offensive line plays I have ever seen. Andrew Thomas, the rookie for the Giants, he's kind of being thrown into action. I understand it's tough for a rookie, especially to be put in the blind side of your quarterback. He played terribly. He was bad. He was very bad. The Eagles in general, they're they had players going in and out of the game the entire time. Lane Johnson was in and out with an injury because he's just coming back from an injury. It's in shambles. We already know that the Giants' current offensive line is not doing too well. It was hard to watch. And then it got even harder to watch later in the game when Daniel Jones ripped the hearts out of our chests of all white people everywhere. He goes on this brilliant 80-yard run, but about 70 yards in. I watched this play and felt like in slow motion. He's going for this great run. No one's going to catch him. The safeties are even starting to slow down. You know how they kind of just like, he's gone. And they kind of let up a little bit. I saw his shoulders kind of go forward a little bit. And I was just like, no, he can't. And then I saw like him trying to catch himself. He stuck out that his right arm. And he's just kind of like, you can see it developing. You know what's about to happen, but you can't believe it. No one within 15 yards of him. And then that one leg kind of goes out, and then he just starts to tumble. He leans forward, and it's over. The dude falls to the ground, and no one touched him. He just fell. It's really funny to make fun of. Memes everywhere. Disappointed white people everywhere, just couldn't run into the end zone. But he still ran faster than Lamar Jackson has all season, and he still ran for 80 yards. I probably could not go sprint 80 yards without dying right now. I'll give him that. Falling is embarrassing. But what everyone keeps forgetting about, because this is just really fun, I'll tell you, Evan Ingram made out like a bandit. Because without that play, everyone would have been making fun of Evan Ingram. Because at least they still scored a touchdown after he fell. Evan Ingram drops a wide open, easy catch to seal the game for the Giants. Drops it. Everyone, people, really, he did that? I didn't even know. A lot of people don't know because no one wants to talk about that. Everyone wants to talk about Daniel Jones falling on his face. You want to talk about Evan Ingram literally lost the game for the Giants. The Eagles weren't that great. Carson Wentz had 2 touchdown passes at least. I wasn't terribly impressed with anything that happened with either team, but the Eagles did get the win, and they're half game in first place. Yay! Celebration. Yay. The Bills at the Jets. Holy baloney. Here's our Season 3, Episode 24 whiteboard poster back here. Tyler Bass versus the Jets. That's all it was. The Bills. This is kind of what I felt like was going to happen with the Bills. I'd like for Fred to tune in the comments section if he's got an opinion about his team. But this is kind of what I felt was going to happen. This is what will happen with the Jets for the rest of the season. Teams will expect to go in there and roll the Jets. And sometimes teams do. They go just because they have more talent just in general. Like the Dolphins, they have a lot of talent over there. Bills have a lot of talent, but they just went in there expecting they're going to blow them out, and they came out flat. And honestly, they played the whole game flat. Josh Allen did not play good. Running game wasn't really there. Defense played decent. But Tyler Bass went 6 for 8 on field goals. And Bills fans still aren't happy. He hit 6 of 8 field goals, and they're calling for his head. He scored every single one of the Bills' points. And Bills fans are like, man, he needs to get out of here. We need to get rid of this kicker, man. He misses too many. For one, he's a rookie. 6th-round pick. It's not like this prodigy kicker like Rodrigo Blankenship. Excuse me. Bills defense finally showed up once the Jets went up 10-0. Yeah. And then they got 18 straight points out of Tyler Bass. Yeah, he missed a couple field goals. He went 6 for 8. Go into your backyard and kick 20-yard field goals. I bet you ain't going 6 for 8, Bills fans. Whoever's complaining that Tyler Bass is your kicker. You could still have Steven Hauschka. He lost one of the games for the Jacksonville Jaguars this season because he missed a couple field goals. You could still have him. It was definitely a flat offense, says Fred, but it was better. Yeah, it was very flat. It was very flat, and just this is what I've been saying a couple times now. When you go and play the Jets, it's one of those reset weeks. You should be able to go play the Jets, figure out your offense, and just kind of play. Do a couple things here. Let's just get Josh Allen throwing all 3 levels again: deep ball, mid range, short passes. We'll run a couple fun plays. We'll get back on track. It didn't seem like the Bills did that. So we'll see what happens. They get to play the Patriots next week. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll talk in detail, obviously. Thursday's show is a week 8, is a kind of looking forward to the next week, our prediction show. So we'll talk about that. But I would be worried for the Bills if now they have to go play the Patriots. At least it's in Buffalo. The Lions at the Falcons. Okay. Oh, hold on. It's party time. It's always party time, man. Hashtag party time up in here and on and off the field from Strikeout Beer. Hashtag party. Rapid Dave is doing a promotion in November. I think if you watch Rapid Dave streams, I'm going to ask him to tell me what it is. But in November, whenever you send him stars on his streams and whatever gets donated to the beer fund that they always run goes to a food bank around them. They're donating all the money to the local food bank, which is dope. I obviously from out the field where we run fundraisers all the time, the fact that they'd be doing that is awesome. So thank you, Rapid Dave and Strikeout Beer, for doing that. Adam Gase gave up play calling this week to the OC, which I think allowed the Jets to start out quick on the Bills. Yeah, I mean, that could help. Sam Darnold still didn't even throw for over 200 yards, so I don't know. I don't know who he gave up the play calling to, but I still don't think it's going to fix their problems. Obviously, they have far too many problems. The Lions at the Falcons. This is, well, I guess one of 2 games because Penn State did the exact same thing when they lost to Indiana on Saturday, but the Falcons lost with a go-ahead touchdown. Yeah, so you heard that right, folks. The Falcons lost by scoring a touchdown. They were somewhere between 5-10 yards out of the end zone. Todd Gurley goes up the middle, and he forgets that he doesn't want to score. So he tries to lay down at the 1-yard line, but before he can go down, he crosses the goal line. The Lions defensive players were like, oh my God, he did it. He scored a touchdown. It's a touchdown. They're putting their hands up. They're like, he did it. The Lions players were begging the refs to call a touchdown, which is hilarious. But obviously they didn't want to do that because then it gave the ball with plenty of time back to the Lions, and it ended up with a Matthew Stafford to TJ Hawkinson touchdown. Fantasy points. I still lost. But, yeah, I love TJ Hawkinson. He's a beast. One of the better tight ends in the league, and this is only his second year. Love it. But the Lions got the better of the Falcons. They just keep failing. Arthur Blank went down to the sideline. That's like his signature move is like near the end of a game, he'll go down to the sideline. But I feel like every time he does that, they end up losing a lead and they end up losing the game. Just stay in your box, dude. You're bad luck. They're showing him on the sideline. They scored that touchdown. He's on the sideline like, oh, yeah, man, we're going to win this game. He did the same thing in the Super Bowl. They're going to win that Super Bowl matchup. He goes down to the sideline. They lost that game to the Patriots, obviously. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Fred, we moving on. No, I'm just kidding. The Bills adjusted at halftime. They only allowed 4 yards to the Jets in the second half. Is that a fact? They allowed 4 yards? Holy crap. Game-losing TD, theme of the weekend. Yeah, Penn State and the Falcons, game-losing touchdowns. And then you got to look at the Rice college football game. I don't know who they were playing, but the team that kicked this non-field goal was Rice. The ball doinked off the uprights 4 times. 4 times. This is no double doink. This is Chicago Bears fans over here getting PTSD. This was a quadruple doink. Boop, 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 boop. It has to be a record. Please log that away. Whoever does records for missed field goals, please mark that one away for 4 doinks. Got fire in the chat. Strikeout beer. Fire in the chat. Josh Bailey in the house. He's got sweet style something as his profile picture. Some kind of bag of something. Sweet style. Are you sweet style, Josh? Is that why it's your profile picture? Only 4 yards for the Jets in the second half. That's disgusting. Oh boy. The Browns at the Bengals. Baker Mayfield throws 5 touchdown passes after starting the day out 0 for 5 and throwing 1 interception. It looked like it was just going to be one of those games where it's like he's going to get benched again. But he comes out after that, goes 22 of 23. I'm not even looking at stats. This is coming out of my brain, folks. He went 22 of 23, 270-plus yards, 5 touchdowns. The game winner was a dime to Peoples-Jones, the rookie from Michigan, I believe. Great touchdown pass. Great performance from the rookie. Good performance from Baker Mayfield. And, it's the Bengals, man. They get a lead. They look good, but they're just not good enough. And that's just going to be the story. This is what we expected from the Bengals. I'm not going to, Joe Burrow's like 3rd in the league. He's thrown over 2,000 passing yards already. He's a good quarterback. What do you want from him? He's passing to the corpse of A.J. Green, whatever is left of him. You got T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and then Joe Mixon was out. If Joe Mixon played this game, I'd imagine they win because Giovanni Bernard did not play well. I think if Joe Mixon was playing, they would have won this game. That's my opinion. But the Browns win. Baker Mayfield gets to hang on to his job for a little longer. I don't know what to make of the Browns. I don't know what to make of Baker Mayfield. And now OBJ is out. I think that's a good thing. I think it's almost like the same thing with Christian McCaffrey not playing for the Panthers. When Christian McCaffrey's playing for the Panthers, you feel like you have to run the offense through Christian McCaffrey. No matter what. You get him the ball through the passing game, the run game, whatever you got to do, get the ball in his hands. And it just throws everything off. Even when it's not working, you're like, we just got to keep grinding. That's the same thing with OBJ. If OBJ's having a bad game, his hands aren't sticky enough, things aren't working, well, just keep throwing the ball. We got to get OBJ as targets / catches. We just got to keep targeting him. Without him there, that's pressure that's off of Baker Mayfield. He gets to spread the ball out more. He hit this tight end, Harrison Bryant. Who the heck is Harrison Bryant? He went off. He had a great game. Without OBJ there, it opens up the offense. So maybe this helps the Browns. It's the same thing with Christian McCaffrey and the Panthers. What's your thoughts on teammates not helping Dalton after the hit? Yeah, we went over that a little bit earlier. It was disgusting that his teammates didn't do anything. Just walking around. Didn't go up and shove Bostic at all. They did nothing. Honestly, they just walked up to him and they were like, "You all right, dude? That looked like it hurt. All right, here comes the medical staff. Good luck, dude." They don't care. Because Andy Dalton's not their leader. They don't care about Andy Dalton. That's just straight facts. It sucks, but it's facts. The Steelers won the game of the undefeateds. So they moved to 6-0. The Titans fall to 5-1. Derrick Henry held to under 100 yards. That's what we all expect. That's what I expected. It was the game of an unstoppable force versus an unmovable object, and the unmovable object won the day. Yeah, Steelers defense is really good. I didn't know if anyone knew that. So here's your PSA announcement. The Steelers defense is very good. They didn't even have Devin Bush. He's lost for the season, and they still held Derrick Henry to under 100 yards rushing. If it wasn't for 3 interceptions from Ben Roethlisberger, this game probably would have been a blowout, but he let the Titans stay in it. Ryan Tannehill had a 2-touchdown day. Played well. Played good. But if Derrick Henry's not... Derrick Henry and the Titans are 16-0 when Derrick Henry rushes for over 100 yards. I don't know what the record is when he rushes for under 100 yards. I'm going to guess it's pretty bad. This offense runs through him. And when you can't depend on one player. Derrick Henry, King Henry, yeah, he's a really great running back. And yes, Ryan Tannehill, some people even consider him now running in for the MVP case. If Ben Roethlisberger doesn't keep turning the ball over, they don't even have a chance in this game. But yes, they took advantage of turnovers, and Ryan Tannehill took advantage of short fields and kept the game close. Offensively, they were not a good unit because Derrick Henry could not get going. Derrick Henry can't get going, the rest of the offense can't get going, and you lose. I got to stop hating on Derrick Henry. It's just a bad look for me, I feel like. Derrick Henry is a very good running back. I'm not going to sit here and tell you Derrick Henry's not a good running back. He's obviously very fast. He's very strong. He stiff arms people. He rushes for over 200 yards. He's a good running back. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm hating so much. But he didn't rush for over 100, and the Titans lost. Steelers linebacker hurt himself stopping Henry at the goal line. Which one? That's funny. It's a business decision to get in front of Derrick Henry to try and stop him. It's a business decision. And that's what Josh Norman tried doing, and he got embarrassed. And now apparently a Steelers linebacker got hurt trying to stop him. It's a business decision. Panthers at the Saints. I picked the Panthers to win this, but they came out. Teddy Bridgewater had a very bad day. Threw 2 interceptions, I believe. I don't have stats in front of me. It's just from memory. Panthers at the Saints. Saints won 27-24. Same score as the Steelers and the Titans. Drew Brees showed us what Drew Brees used to be able to do. And maybe he can still do it, and we just don't see it as often. No Michael Thomas, no Emmanuel Sanders, and he's using what he has, and he did it very well. These are some wide receivers that you ain't never heard of, and you ain't never going to hear from again as soon as Thomas and Sanders come back. Alvin Kamara had a great day, obviously, like 140 yards from scrimmage, whatever it was. Great day. But Drew Brees was very good, and he threw open his receivers that you've never heard of. Practice squad, 4th stringers. And he did very well. And they won the game. The Panthers' offense was bad. Panthers' defense was not great. They just didn't. I don't want to hate on the Panthers because they're supposed to be a team that's rebuilding. And now with the Saints maybe clicking, Tampa Bay's definitely going to win that division now that they're clicking. I feel like the Panthers, they're going to start falling off here, I would imagine. I kind of thought maybe they'd be able to push if the Saints kept slacking, if the Bucs kept getting injured, the Panthers might be able to keep up with them. But if Christian McCaffrey comes back and he doesn't disrupt this offense and just makes it a little better, because let's be honest, Mike Brown I think his name's Mike Brown. I don't know what you want from Mike Brown. But CMC should be back next week. I would like to think he improves this offense. Robert Spillane is the guy that got hurt for the Steelers. And who is my top 5 running backs right now? Oh, Lordy. Who are my top 5 running backs? That's tough. I had to think about that. You're putting me on the spot. Alvin Kamara is definitely up there. Like, does this take into account like who's in the league or like who's playing right now and like who's not hurt? Because I'm going to put Christian McCaffrey on that list, but he hasn't played for a couple of weeks. So are you talking about like who's playing right now? Because Alvin Kamara is probably number 1. Aaron Jones up there, maybe number 2. Clyde Edwards-Helaire may be in there, maybe number 5-ish. Oh my gosh. I'd have to think about it. Get back to me. Maybe I'll post a graphic sometime this week. I'll post a graphic on my social media. Maybe that'll be my goal this week. Like, we're kind of halfway through the season-ish. I'll give you my top 5s for each position. But I don't have a top 5 off the top of my head. I have to think about it. I can't just spew out running backs. I'd have to, get a list in front of me. I got to think about it. Derrick Henry's definitely in there. Alvin Kamara, CMC, Derrick Henry, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm definitely probably forgetting somebody. James Conner's not doing bad. There's always that one team that I forget about, and people are like, oh, you're leaving this guy out. Like, sorry, I didn't mean to. I just forgot he existed for a second. Boston Scott. He's my number 5. Boston Scott. Boston Scott is better than Miles Sanders. There, I said it. The Eagles should get rid of Miles Sanders. He's injury prone. He's not as good as Boston Scott, and they should ride with him. There's my hot take of the day. Yeah, Nick Chubb. He hasn't played in a while, so I forgot about him. He should definitely be in the top 5. He's a great running back. When Nick Chubb is in there and you have Kareem Hunt, that is one of the best 1-2 punches you could possibly have. Because Nick Chubb will bowl you over, but he could also run to the outside. He can also catch passes, and you got the speed and agility of Kareem Hunt. It's two very good running backs that they have over there in Cleveland. They're very lucky to have them. The Cowboys got embarrassed by Washington 25-3. We talked about the Cowboys in detail earlier in this episode. Just no leadership over there. Everyone's hurt. The defense is terrible. They have no offensive players. They haven't they could put together an all-pro team of just the players that they have hurt. That's kind of just that's what they have going on over there in Dallas. It's absolutely horrible. They got embarrassed. Washington played well. Ron Rivera is cancer-free. He rung the bell. That's absolutely amazing. And he has his Washington football team a half game out of first place in the NFC East. What more could you possibly want? The Packers at the Texans. The Packers were great. Aaron Rodgers was great. They didn't even have Aaron Jones, but they still played very well. Jamal Williams is a very good running back. That's another 1-2 punch that people sleep on. Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams and the Packers. Whew, both of those guys are electric. Devontae Adams came back from injury and just completely tore apart the Texans. The Texans are a bad team. People thought they still had a chance. David Johnson, Randall Cobb, Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks. This is your offense. No, it's not good. And that defense has not been good for a while now. So Aaron Rodgers tore them apart. The Bucs at the Raiders. We talked about the Buccaneers a little bit earlier. The Raiders run through Josh Jacobs. He had 10 carries for 17 yards. That's not going to get it done. But the Buccaneers front seven is probably, I think it's the best in the league, is that front seven for the Buccaneers. The pass rush, the run defense. It's incredible what they have for a team. And a lot of them just came in free agency. They had a couple of great draft picks. It's amazing what they put together up there. But, the defense is great for the Buccaneers. The offense is really starting to click. If they got everyone healthy, we've already said it once, twice, 3 times this episode, if the Buccaneers offense can stay healthy and, let's be honest, sane, now that Antonio Brown is there, if they can stay healthy and sane, then they could win the Super Bowl. I'll say it right here, right now. I'm throwing it down. Buccaneers can win the Super Bowl, will win the Super Bowl if everyone stays healthy. But guess what? Chris Godwin is already hurt again. He broke his finger. So it's a coin flip who's going to stay healthy there with the Buccaneers. The Chiefs demolished the Broncos. The Chiefs scored on offense, defense, and special teams. Pick 6, kickoff return, offensive touchdown. So that's kind of fun. Broncos are terrible. They play in the snow. That's all I got. I don't know. It was 43-16. The Broncos can't draft a quarterback to save their lives. John Elway needs to be removed from the front office. Just because he's tall and has big hands and a big arm does not make him a good quarterback. Someone needs to tell John Elway that. The 49ers demolished the Patriots. Jeff Wilson ran for 3 touchdowns for the 49ers, but ended up with a high ankle sprain, so he will be out for a couple weeks. Raheem Mostert is already on IR for at least 3 weeks. 2 more weeks after this week has already passed. Jimmy Garoppolo was very bad. He threw 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. But who was even worse was Cam Newton. He threw 3 interceptions, completed maybe half of his passes for under 100 yards. He got benched. Came in Jarrett Stidham. He threw an interception, no touchdowns. Patriots are a bad team. Yeah, people do. I can name people. I'm not going to name people, but there's people who legitimately thought the Patriots were going to be able to keep going. They were going to be able to keep this dynasty alive. Sure, even if Cam Newton was playing at a great level still, they have almost 0 offensive weapons. Their defense was torn apart between free agency and people opting out. This Patriots team was absolutely demolished in this past offseason between the offense and defense. This is not a surprising result. What are they, 2-5 now? Could be 2-6 after they play the Bills next week. Whew. The Jags at the Chargers. Oh, I think I had a comment over here. It was the snow game, our first snow game of the season. You don't think Locke is the answer for the Broncos? No, I think Locke is just another tall dude that can throw the ball deep, but makes bad decisions and has a lack of accuracy. It's a typical Broncos quarterback. Look at the last couple of quarterbacks that the Broncos are drafted. They're all the same human being. There's no difference. Like if you put them all up against a wall and ask me to pick out which one were which of their names, they're all the same exact person. Like they're all 6'5". They can all throw it like 70, 80 yards, but it doesn't matter. What is it with the 49ers running backs having a day and then getting hurt? Yeah, that's kind of your trend right now. Jeff Wilson had a great day, 3 touchdowns, and then boop, 3rd touchdown run. High ankle sprain. That'll be 3-4 weeks for him. There's a reason why Cam Newton wasn't signed till July. Exactly. That's why he was also signed for like $1 million on his current contract. People are saying it's a steal. Bill Belichick did it again. Maybe we should wait a couple weeks to see if it was actually a steal or not. Brady proving he's not assistant quarterback like a lot of people cried about. Yeah, it's true. I think people call him assistant quarterback just because they did it for so long. You know, if you're in a system, which he was in a system for 20 years. So yes, he's going to get called assistant quarterback when you're running the same system for 20 years. So it's a fair thing it's not like it's a bad thing to say that you're a system quarterback. I don't know why people are so upset when you get called a system quarterback. It means you get put in an offense and you run it very well and you don't make mistakes. You're efficient. It's not like it's a bad thing to be a system quarterback. I don't understand why that's like slander to call someone a system quarterback. And yes, I am right about Broncos quarterbacks. It's because John Elway just has this idea of what a quarterback should be, and he's usually wrong. The Jags lost to the Chargers 39-29. Justin Herbert is he's amazing. I think he threw for 3 touchdowns, ran for another. I love Justin Herbert. And the Chargers wanted to hide him behind Tyrod Taylor. They wanted to hide this child from us. I'm glad. I'm obviously not glad of what happened to Tyrod Taylor, but I'm glad Justin Herbert is on the field and we get to watch him. But they demolished the Jaguars. Gardner Minshew didn't get benched. He was threatened to being benched. I don't know why you would threaten benching Gardner Minshew. You gain nothing by benching Gardner Minshew. Don't you want him to play bad? Don't you want to lose games? I feel like that should be your goal this season, is to lose games. So why would you threaten your quarterback of being benched if he's playing bad? That made no sense to me. That was a stupid thing to do from the Jaguars' part. The Seahawks at the Cardinals. Sunday Night Football. Yeah. The Seahawks got conservative on offense and defense. They're up 10 points with less than 3 minutes left. They decided Russell Wilson's done. We don't have to use him anymore. They decided to run the ball. They could have iced the game with about 1:50 left on the clock. It was 3rd and 2, just past the 2-minute warning, and they decided to run the ball for the third straight play, and Carlos Hyde got stuffed. So the Cardinals had enough time to go down the field and tie up the game. They went to overtime. The defense was just exhausted, and just in general, they're a bad defense. So they let the Cardinals do whatever they wanted in overtime. Luckily, they missed a field goal. That was fun. But then the Seahawks, Russell Wilson throws his 3rd interception of the game. Everything was bad. The Seahawks did a very bad thing all game. Russell Wilson hit a lot of great deep throws. Everyone always gets to see his beautiful deep throws in prime time. 3 touchdown passes to Tyler Lockett. But penalties, bad play calling, and a very bad defense all showed their heads. That's the Seahawks of the last, 9-10 years. As long as Russell Wilson has been the quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, that is what the Seattle Seahawks are. They're a team that gets penalized a lot, especially in inopportune times. It's a team that has a lot of bad play calling. And it's a team, just recently, I guess, this one is a bad defense. Just straight up bad defense. You can say nothing nice about the Seattle Seahawks defense. The Bears at the Rams. I was shocked by the result of this. I thought the Bears would have handled their business here, but I guess it was in LA. I don't know. The Bears offense is they're a sham. We all know it now. Everyone can have a deep, sigh of relief. We officially know that the Bears are frauds. Now they're down to 5-2. They were 5-1, but they were a fake 5-1. Now they're 5-2. The offense was just very bad. Lots of turnovers. The defense, penalties up the wazoo. And the Rams were not much better, especially on offense. Aaron Donald was a beast. A beast in this game. He was getting triple teamed at points. That's what you have to do against Aaron Donald. But the Rams offense was not very good. They scored 24 points. Yeehaw. Most of those points came off of good field position that special teams gave them and, turnovers from the Bears. That's why they scored so many points. They couldn't drive down the field. The Bears defense did pretty well getting pressure on Jared Goff, which is what you need to do to disrupt that offense. They made enough plays, but then the offense, Johnny Hekker put all 5 punts within the 5-yard line, I believe, inside the 5. He's the best punter in football without a doubt. You cannot change my mind. And so the bad field position, Bears couldn't get out of their own way. Interceptions, busted plays, bad play calling, everything was bad for the Bears on Monday night. So the Rams win that one 24-10. So now we have a 5-1 Seahawks team, a 5-2 Cardinals and Rams team, and a 4-3 49ers team in the NFC West. Best division in football by far. Let's just wrap up with some comments here. So if you're listening to the podcast afterwards, sorry, we're gonna end the show here with a little bit of comments because I love comments. This is if you're listening to the podcast and you figured out finally he's doing a live show. Wow, that's cool. Join us. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The live show starts on now Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at OOTF Podcast. Fred says it's just an act by the Jags that they were going to bench Gardner Minshew. I don't even know why you'd threaten it. It makes no sense. Why would you even bother? That's just a stupid thing to do. The Seahawks team reminds me of the 15-1 Packers, all offense, 0 defense. Yeah. I don't want to slander my own team. I don't know if the Seahawks offense is really that great. It was as good as that Packers offense was. It's very good. The offensive line is not as good as the Packers offensive line has been for, as long as Aaron Rodgers has been there. He's had an offensive line. The Seahawks do not. Aaron Donald, Lamar Floyd, and Jalen Ramsey helped the Rams win. Those are probably the three guys who had the biggest impact. Troy Hill also he's the one who tipped the ball in the end zone. The Bears were trying to make a comeback, and they got down into the red zone, And Nick Foles threw a terrible pass in a double coverage. Troy Hill tipped the ball, ended up in an interception. So that was a big play from Troy Hill. Watermelon punt. I'm imagining that's Johnny Hecker reference. Nick Foles is just a good situational quarterback and great against Brady. Yeah, always beats Brady. But yes, he's not really your franchise guy. You're not going to be able to put him out there every week and be like, go win a fourth quarter comeback. Let's do it. It's not what he does. Leonard Floyd. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lamar Floyd. Yes. Leonard Floyd. You made me say the wrong thing. No, it's fine. Leonard Floyd. Yeah. Those guys played great. I would include Troy Hill in that. But that's the show. I believe that's going to be what we do tonight. We had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Talked for an hour 22. My throat's dry. But thanks for the comments, everyone. I appreciate the comments. That helps get through the show when it's just me. Fred Durf will be back Thursday, I pray. And we cannot wait. But yeah, we will be back Thursday because Mama didn't raise no wuss.